Hi folks, I'm Sammy here from T&Coffee, and we're here this evening with Endeavour. Hi Endeavour.
Hello.
You may or may not know Endeavour from his awesome YouTube channel, which you've got to go and check out. And Endeavour's been huge on the social media lately as well, so go and check him out on Twitter. We'll make sure, and I'll tell you what, before we actually get too far into this, I'll make sure I get some links off you because you deserve having some of your content put out there. You're doing amazing work.
Thank you.
And hopefully, as part of our Chatting With series, we'll be able to have a nice little chat with you and see what you've been up to. So, hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, yeah. Really
Good. So I thought it'd be lovely to have you on because my gosh, are you good at telling your story? Looking at some of the content that you put out on YouTube and your posts on the socials, you really know how to tell your story. So are you happy to share a little bit of your background and your journey
Yeah.
so far with us?
Yeah. I'm 38. I'm from Brighton. I work as a science technician in a school, so I've transitioned in a school, which is, pros and cons.
Yeah.
So I came out when I was 35.
Yeah.
So a few years ago now. And yeah, I kind of sort of knew I was trans at 6, but didn't have the vocabulary to express that. And obviously I didn't know what trans was. No one talked about it. Even talking about being gay was, section 28 and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so I kind of was like, I'm boy, but no, you're not, you're a girl. And yeah, so that was kind of my childhood, and I hid it all. But I kind of was really bad at being a girl, like pretending. I was so bad.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I was really bad at it. But it was really weird in my 20s, like trying to be as girly as possible. That's quite a common thing I hear.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I would get misgendered as a boy, particularly so I had cancer a few years back, and obviously I lost all my hair. And then when it was kind of growing back, I remember, because I used to work in Sainsbury's, and there was a customer that kind of said, well, we'll ask this boy here. And I remember just being so upset about it.
Oh,
but
really?
It was like the total opposite. Yeah. So, I mean, I've read other trans guys' experiences. So like, I read like Alex Bertie's book, and he had a very similar experience, but this was in school. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's me. So, and then I started working at the school, and I was getting called Miss.
Wait, hang on. Was it the same school that you went to? Did you carry a
No.
Oh, no, okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah. No. Thankfully not. So I get being called Miss all the time, and I couldn't understand why I felt sick every time I would hear it, and just it was constant. I mean, I'm not a teacher, but it was still all the time. And I just remember one of the teachers kind of shouting down the corridor, "Oi, Miss," sort of thing. And I just remember just like doing that, and I thought, what is going on? What is this? And then, I hate to mention Piers Morgan, sorry, but he was talking about gender fluid and how rubbish it was and all that. And I didn't really know anything about it. And I asked my boyfriend, and he explained it to me. And then I started to look it up. And then then I was reading about trans people. And then I was like, okay, this is me. Oh, goodness. And then, you kind of get this fear when you know.
Yeah.
And I think my confirmation was, I did it just to try it. I went to a convention, and I went as Matt Smith's doctor.
Oh, so, I've seen the pictures of this. You look fantastic for the record, and bow ties are cool, right? So
yeah. And I just, and I felt really good and manly. And I hadn't worn binders then because I didn't know about them. And I just remember being at a stall to buy something, and someone interrupted, and they said, "Oh no, I'm serving this lady here," and I was like, oh yeah. And that was it for me. That was my confirmation that I knew then that I was a trans man.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's first off, big props for the Doctor Who reference, because absolutely love it. Doctor Who, love Matt Smith. Second, I mean, wow, what a way to figure that out. I mean, I suppose that in in a convention with I mean, Doctor Who's an alien, right? Let's have this. Let's have this right. In a
Yeah,
convention with aliens to establish something about your own human nature. There's a certain poetry to that.
yeah,
Or am I-
yeah.
yeah.
You put it great.
Sorry. Okay, it's been one of those. It's been one of those weeks. Okay, we're going to try and get this done, and we'll get this out as soon as possible before you say that to put up my nonsense for too long. But so much of what you say just resonates. I mean, that knowing from a young age and not really having the words to explain it. I think that's
Yeah,
probably quite a common theme that we definitely hear a lot of Tea and Coffee, where
yeah,
people are telling that story that they've something's not quite sitting right.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so by all accounts, you've not really looked back from that day then, by the sound of it.
Well, it took me a year to come out, like
Yeah.
officially, because I was, in a relationship, and I was like, how am I going to tell him?
Of course,
Am I going to lose everything? And because you always hear that all the time. So I told him, and he was really upset about it, obviously. And then I told my mother, who laughed. She's okay about it now, but she laughed because I think she thought I was joking.
Oh, really?
She didn't know how to take it probably,
No.
and then I told my best friend, and she was really understanding, thank goodness, because obviously I had the two really bad, conversations.
Less than ideal,
Yeah. And then I told a few other friends, and I remember ringing my dad, and I was already on the defensive because I had such bad experience. I was like, I don't care what you think. I'm trying, that sort of thing. And then he was like, okay, I'm fairly liberal, it's fine. And then he kind of obviously spoke to his wife, and she's been really great, and I think she's really helped him understand and stuff. So
yeah.
And he's been fully supportive. My mum has taken a little bit longer, like a couple of years, but now she's great, thankfully. But yeah, so
It sounds like you've got quite a supportive bunch around you, actually.
Yeah, I've been lucky, I think.
Well, I mean,
lucky.
yeah, lucky, and you've probably done quite a good job of it. It doesn't sound like you went sort of hammer and tongs at it, and I'm trying to get over it, because I don't think that gets anybody anywhere, does it? Really?
No.
But no, I mean, something you said actually that it's something that we've said time and time and time again when we've been talking to people, is that, and I think you've probably got experience of this, is giving people that little bit of time. I think you said like your mum, like she's taken a bit longer, but she's kind of starting to understand. And that sounds like, I don't think that's just luck. I think it sounds like you've done a pretty good job of coming out and making it work for you. Right?
Yeah. I mean, she took ages to get my name right, because obviously I went by Matty for about 9 months, because when you have to come up with a name, quickly, that sort of thing, and I was like, and I kind of did the Matty thing because of Matt Smith, actually.
Oh, really?
Because I just met him, and I thought, oh, that's good,
Have you told him this? Have you tweeted this to him? Because that's
no.
No.
I haven't. You get literally 5 seconds of them, so I didn't really have time.
Fair enough.
But so what was I saying?
Matty choosing names and things like that.
Yeah. So she prefers Matty to Endeavour. So we always have this argument, because she kept obviously calling me by my birth name or dead name. And I would yell at her, and then she would be like, oh, like that. And she eventually, got it. But she does still prefer Matty, but I yell at her, and then she's like, oh.
When in doubt, scream and shout. Yeah, I mean,
I do. Yeah, I do.
I've got to ask, because I'm trying to word this the right way. Endeavour is not the most common name that I come across. Where did this come from?
So Inspector Morse, it's his first name. So I'm a big fan of like the current Morse show by Sean Evans, and it was really weird. So I was watching it because I was a series behind. And I was looking, and I was like, no, he doesn't like his name. The character doesn't like his name. Okay. And I thought, I like it. And you know what? I don't care what anybody thinks.
Fair enough.
That is an awesome name. And I told my boyfriend the next day, I'm changing it to Endeavour. And he went, okay. That was it. I did it. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a NASA space shuttle.
It's a good name.
It's been a ship.
And let's be honest, it is a cracking name as well. And you know what? Inspector Morse, by the sound of it, he wasn't using it anyway. So why not? You know, if he doesn't
Yeah,
like it, you can
exactly.
have it. It's out there. It's going begging. Make the most of
Yeah,
it. Good name.
it's my name now.
Yeah, it is your name, and it's an awesome name to choose from. God, I remember doing that. I think I think quite a few of us actually, I wouldn't say all, I think quite a few trans people have probably gone through a few names
Yeah.
and ideas and changes. I never tell people this. I'm doing it on camera, I should be quiet. I was Zoe for a bit.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Well, I
oh.
sort of started thinking of names, and I started at A, and I thought, no, that's what everybody will do. I'll start the other end, and before you know where you are, I was
Yeah.
Zoe. Not for long, to be honest, not for long. It didn't stick. But no, I mean, yeah, no, awesome. And Endeavour,
Mm.
you seem to just be smashing through not just your social transition, which you've nailed by all accounts, but your medical transition as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Top
And
surgery.
you had top surgery.
Yeah.
Where did you
6
go?
weeks. Who did I go with?
Yeah.
I went with Mr. Miles Berry, actually.
Okay, cool.
He's quite popular with younger trans people, actually, because he actually said to me, it's a bit unusual for someone of your age to come to me. And I was like, oh.
I can stop you right there. Yeah, hearing at 38 that you're younger is definitely good news for someone my age. Okay, that's good to know, because we're about the same age, and I'm not going to say exactly what, but we're about the same age, so it's good to know that we're considered younger, which is awesome. Yeah, so that was in the UK then.
Yes, that was at London Welbeck Hospital.
And is that through? So you have to forgive my ignorance. I don't know. Is this through one of the gender identity clinics, or have you managed to?
No. So I'm still waiting to be seen by the NHS. So this was through. Well, I'm private with Gender Care and with a shared care with my GP.
Okay. And
then I asked for a referral, and then I chose which surgeon, and they just go, okay.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, okay, Gender Care run an incredible set. It's a shame that we need it, quite frankly, isn't it? You know, there's still people that I know people that are still waiting for their first appointment that have been on the list since before I got on there, and that's 4 years ago, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's fair play to you that you've managed to find a way to do it. So what was that, 6 weeks ago?
Yeah. 1st of April. Yeah, great. It's really strange. I actually feel a bit naked, but I'm not, because I haven't got a binder on. So I feel like, you know, that I'm on display, but I'm not. So like when I go to work in the morning now, I'm like, oh, I haven't got, you know, my binder on. It's just so weird.
Is it?
But I don't need one.
Good weird, right? Yeah, it's a good weird.
Yeah, good weird. Yeah, but it's just so strange. Like I couldn't leave the house, or, you know, just to take the bin out, or to step in, you know, just to go to my car without a binder on. And obviously before the binder, it was the bra, because I used to have like a thing about the bra thing, because I got picked on at school for not wearing a bra.
Really?
At school. Yeah. It kind of just sticks with you. And obviously that was I want to be flat sort of thing, but obviously they were starting to develop. And so it's so weird to go outside without any restriction. It's lovely.
I bet it is, yeah. And it must be, I mean, that restriction, you know, not to put too fine a point on it, as a trans woman, I think the phrase I use is sitting on a secret, and I've been sat on that secret for several years now, right? It's starting to get quite uncomfortable. So it must just be so, would you say, I mean, like liberating or free?
Yeah, freeing. Yeah, so it's always, these things always sound corny, but like, so when I went on testosterone, like this cloud kind of lifted, but now I didn't realize I had another cloud, you know, weighing me down, and that was in my chest, you know, kind of stopped me doing things. And now I'm just like, as soon as I'd had it, I was just like in the hospital bed, like, oh my goodness, it's I'm flat.
I suppose a literal weight off your chest, I suppose.
Yeah.
As well. So you said to me, I think we spoke before, and you said you love swimming. Have you managed to get back into the water yet, or?
Not yet, but I am allowed to go swimming now, because I had the post-op consult the other day, and he was like, yes, you can go swimming.
Wicked.
Yeah,
that's really, really cool. And you know what, I've only just found out today, it was only today you mentioned it, you're I don't know how we managed to get you on here, because you've got so many stories to tell. It's incredible. Because I couldn't help but seeing that you managed to get your gender recognition certificate recently as well.
Yes, yeah.
Is it
So
as complicated as everyone makes it seem?
So I'm dyslexic, so I'm not a big fan of forms. Yeah, and the form itself wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
No,
actually. So the thing that I think is the most important thing, that is keeping, documents from when you first change your name. I mean, that is, I think, vital, because I always hear, where people have been transitioned for 10 years, but they haven't necessarily got all the documents.
Yeah.
And then they can't apply. And so I kind of knew that. And obviously I needed to have documents in the name of Matty as well. And I had shredded some, which I didn't. Yeah, I know. But I was able to access my old pay slips and things like that. And I did keep, naughtily, my driving license card in that name.
Endeavour.
But but I did use that as the actual date. Instead of the depot, I used the driving license as the start, because otherwise I would have had to wait another year if I couldn't have found other things. That's the problem, isn't it?
This is the thing, isn't it? And with that's sort of like that minimum 2-year rule that's still in there. I mean, I presume you saw that the government decided they were going to drop the actual fee down to £5, which in the real world made exactly zero difference to anybody, didn't it? In terms of
I was kind of like, well, it just shows that it isn't actually worth £140 then, wasn't it? Ever.
There you go. It's another tax on being who we are, I guess, isn't it? But
sorry,
I'm not allowed to express.
Pay the birth certificate as well.
I know, right? Yeah. How much is I think the actual birth certificate's free.
£11.
Oh, really?
Yeah, per copy. Yeah.
Oh.
I was kind of annoyed because I wanted to get one for my mum and dad as well, and I was just like, oh, this. You'd think they'd chuck at least one in for free with the money you're paying.
You don't get anything for that. Really?
Yeah, you just get the GRC certificate, and then they were like, then the birth certificate people contacted me like a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I've got to pay for a birth certificate. Thanks.
It's quite a handy thing to have, though. You know what? I don't get it. I've never really seen the need for a birth certificate. I don't know if it's just me, but essentially it's a piece of paper that says I was born. If I've got a piece of paper that says I was born, it's surplus to requirement. I'm here is living proof of the fact I was born. There you go. So does it feel good to sort of have that, though, to actually have that bit of paper in your hand? So
because the reason I did it, well, originally was because, pensions and that, they were a bit funny about, that. But then I argued with a couple of people. I've got 2 pensions, and I actually argued with them about it. And they said I would take it to the manager. I said, you could have the doctor's letter, because at the time I didn't have the GRC. Right. And they actually went, yeah, okay. Because I think that legislation is changing, because it's really for years old, that it doesn't even affect people our age. So I just think it's irrelevant that they were still using this argument. And then obviously I can get married now as a man, which was the main reason, actually.
So wait a minute, sorry, is that an exclusive? Have we just got a scoop that are there wedding bells in the air?
Well, I keep joking about going to Gretna Green, but yeah.
You know what? I want exclusive rights on this, by the way, when this happens. Okay, we'll be there. We'll bring a film crew. It'll be fantastic. We'll put some lovely music over it. But that would be such an awesome.
Yeah, you can all come.
Brilliant. So, I don't know. You were saying to me, I think actually you're a bit sore today, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
There's some more good news, right?
Yeah. So had my first libido from the gel today.
Yeah. So Nebido, for people that are watching and don't know what Nebido is an injectable version of testosterone instead of the topical one, right? Yeah. Cool. And so that's done, dusted. You didn't cry, did you?
No.
Did you not?
No.
Okay, boys, cry too. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
You're allowed to cry.
Yeah, it wasn't actually painful actually being injected. That was all right, actually. It was when I started to walk afterwards, and I was like, well, this is actually quite sore in my thigh and my back. So,
at least you walked, right? I think it wasn't back in the first lockdown. I remember I was doing this whole sort of trying to get fit thing well, if I stood up, you'd see why. But no, I was trying to get fit. And I went on my bike. I rode my mountain bike down to the doctors to get my Decapeptyl, which is a gonadotropin releasing hormone analog, testosterone blocker. Sorry, the opposite of libido, I guess. And it goes in roughly the same place. They sort of want to stick it just here, don't they?
Yeah.
In the bit just above your bum. And yeah, no, cycling back from that was a terrible, terrible idea. Don't do it. No, but I mean, it's a good excuse to sort of keep you up and going, because at least you won't be sat around feeling sorry for yourself when you're back and your bum hurt, like I said.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure I'll feel it tomorrow.
So I can't help but mention it. Your YouTube channel has just got some absolutely fantastic content on there. What's inspiring you to do that?
Originally, I just was doing videos for like my cis friends on Facebook. That was originally, you know, and I was kind of, because I work in school, I was a bit like, oh, do I really want to go on YouTube? Because the kids, you know, they'll, you know, and in the end I thought, you know, there's nothing wrong with my videos. I really don't care.
No,
you know, sometimes I review a penis. I mean, whatever, you know, sometimes I talk about my lower growth, you know, things like that, and my appointments, you know, with gender care, just, you know, and obviously my surgeon, because lots of people have been quite interested in those ones. So
I bet,
so.
And it's got to be said, you've handled it right the way through. I mean, I sat down and just watched sort of the whole sort of figure of playlist the other day. I know I like to do my research, but I sat and went through it. It's got to be said, you just handled the whole thing with just pure, I want to say grace, but I'm not sure that's really the right term, but just total class all the way through. You know, it's totally honest. Absolutely love it. You'll have to make sure that we've got all of the links so that we can give them out to everybody at T&Coffee as well, because that would be awesome. So currently you're based down Brighton way, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard about BYOP yet? No, you see, nobody has. We've got to do more to tell people about this. In the summer, we're planning on coming to Brighton for our first ever T&Coffee BYOP, Bring Your Own Picnic event. So it would be awesome to have you come down to that. No pressure, but if you don't come, I'll cry. You know, it'd be great to have you come down there for that. That would be really, really cool. I suppose the big question, really, with like everything that you've been doing and with such an enormous journey that you've been through from 35 through to now. I mean, I know there's a lot of story prior to the coming out, but like from 35 to now, I mean, you've got the rest, like this whole life ahead of you. What's next?
Well, I want hysterectomy is quite desperate need of, and you know, I want to have phalloplasty. So
okay, cool. Have you read? We had Finn.
I've read it. I finished it last night. Literally.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes. It's so well written. Like it's like he's talking to me. You know, like he's like sitting across from me, just telling me his story. I mean,
that's exactly what it's like, isn't it? It's just
it's really good.
It is like having a good chat with him. But he was on. You have to watch his YouTube video as well, because he was on. He was chatting to Jason. I think you know Jason as well.
Yes.
He was chatting to him the other week. So you're in the same channel as Finn now as well. So it's all good. You're going.
Well, that's an honor.
We're boosting your YouTube ratings, right? I don't know. I didn't do enough research. You haven't got a book coming out anytime soon that we can plug around.
No,
not yet.
I don't think I'd be very good at that. So.
All right, fair enough. I get that totally. Well, you're doing an awesome job, the work that you're doing at the moment, and the sheer just beauty of that visibility is so unbelievably important. And especially today, because we're recording this today, and it's Ida Hobbit today, isn't it, as well?
Yes.
Got any particular celebrations or anything that you're doing for Ida Hobbit? Or?
No, I'll probably be on Twitter in a bit anyway. So
fair enough.
I've been at work all day, so I haven't been able to kind of get involved.
No, I'm so sorry. I haven't stopped you having your dinner or anything like that, have I? No. That's fine. I don't worry about that sort of stuff. I just carry on working. I forget that everybody else has got, you know, real lives to deal with as well. So no, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for everything that you're doing to create usable, visible, meaningful content for the trans community, particularly for the trans masculine community. Incredible work. And high five. Look, bang, virtual high five. You get one of those. So do you just want to give us a few links maybe where people can find you? Do you want to do a quick shout out so that we can give you a plug?
Yeah, so YouTube is I am Endeavour. I think
am
that's actually
Endeavour.
all of it. My Instagram, Twitter. Sure, I am Endeavour.
There
Oh,
you go.
I've got
Look,
a
he's a
TikTok now.
marketing genius too. He's nailed this down. You are Endeavour, and Endeavour, you have been fantastic. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very, very much for coming on. Right, folks, if you enjoyed listening to and chatting with Endeavour, please do get in touch because we want to hear your suggestions for people to speak with. You've got something to say, you want to come and join the conversation, check us out at tncoffeelgbt.com or find us on the socials, on all the socials at T&Coffee LGBT. But for now, it's bye-bye from me, bye, and bye-bye from Endeavour.
Bye.
Thanks, folks. Bye.